Harley just did what? The 2026 Lowrider S is breaking all the rules. What if the cruiser you thought you knew wasn't the one you should be riding anymore? The 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S has entered the scene with a level of attitude that feels almost disruptive. This isn't just another update. It's a bold move that challenges everything riders expect from a modern Harley. At first glance, it looks familiar. Dark, aggressive, stripped down, and unapologetically raw. But spend a few seconds longer, and something feels different. There's a sharper edge, a more focused presence, like this bike is built with a purpose, beyond just cruising. And that's where the intrigue begins. Because Harley-Davidson isn't known for taking risks like this, yet here we are. Riders are starting to whisper about it, forums are lighting up, and even loyal fans are asking the same question. Is this the future of performance cruisers? Or is it something even bigger? Whatever it is, one thing's clear. You're going to want to see what happens next. The design of the 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S doesn't scream for attention, it demands it. Everything about this bike feels intentional, from the blacked-out finishes to the aggressive stance that looks ready to launch even when parked. The compact fairing adds a performance-driven edge, hinting that this isn't just about looks, it's about speed, control, and rider focus. And then, there's the riding position. It's not laid back like a traditional cruiser. It leans slightly forward, pulling you into the experience instead of letting you sit back and watch it happen. That subtle shift changes everything. It makes the bike feel alive, like it's constantly urging you to push harder, ride faster, and explore its limits. And that's exactly what sets it apart. This isn't a cruiser that wants to relax, it wants to perform. And once you realize that, you start to see it in a completely different light. Now let's talk about what's really hiding beneath the surface of the 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S, because this is where things get serious. The engine delivers a level of torque that feels immediate, almost explosive, yet somehow controlled. It's not just about raw power, it's about how that power is delivered. Twist the throttle, and the response is instant, pulling you forward with a force that feels both thrilling and addictive. But here's the surprising part. It doesn't feel overwhelming. Instead, it feels precise, like every ounce of power is exactly where it needs to be. That kind of balance is rare, especially in a bike that looks this aggressive. It creates a riding experience that's both exciting and confidence-inspiring. And that combination is what makes this machine so dangerous, in the best possible way. Because once you get a taste of it, you're gonna want more. Comfort might not be the first thing you think about when you see the 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S, but it plays a bigger role than you'd expect. The seat is firm yet supportive, designed to keep you connected to the bike without sacrificing long-distance usability. The suspension setup adds another layer to the experience, smoothing out rough roads while still maintaining that performance-focused feel. It's not plush in the traditional touring sense, but that's not the point. This bike is about balance. It gives you just enough comfort to keep going, while still reminding you that you're riding something built for excitement. And that's what makes it so unique. It doesn't try to be everything. It focuses on being exactly what it needs to be. And in doing so, it delivers an experience that feels incredibly authentic. Here's where things start to get really interesting. The 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S isn't just about performance, it's about identity. This is a bike that speaks to a specific kind of rider, someone who values connection, control, and a sense of raw mechanical presence. It's not overloaded with distractions or unnecessary features. Instead, it focuses on what matters most: the ride. And that simplicity is what makes it so powerful. In a world where motorcycles are becoming increasingly complex, this bike feels like a return to something more honest. But don't mistake simplicity for weakness. There's a depth here that only reveals itself over time. The more you ride it, the more you understand it, and the more you appreciate what Harley has created. It's not just a motorcycle, it's a statement. Handling is where the 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S really starts to surprise people. For a bike in this category, it feels incredibly responsive, almost eager to lean into corners. The chassis is tight, the feedback is direct, and the overall experience feels far more dynamic than most cruisers. It's the kind of handling that encourages confidence, making you want to push just a little bit harder each time you ride. And that's where the magic happens. Because this bike doesn't just respond to your inputs, it amplifies them. It makes every movement feel more connected, more deliberate. And that transforms the entire riding experience. Suddenly, it's not just about getting from one place to another, it's about how you get there. And with this bike, that journey becomes something truly special. Let's address something that often gets overlooked: the emotional impact of the 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S. This isn't a bike you ride just for practicality, it's one you ride because of how it makes you feel. The sound, the vibration, the way it responds to your touch, it all comes together to create an experience that's deeply engaging. It's the kind of connection that reminds you why you started riding in the first place. And in a market filled with options, that emotional connection can be the deciding factor. Because at the end of the day, motorcycles aren't just machines, they're experiences. And this one delivers in a way that feels raw, real, and unforgettable. The 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S also brings a level of street presence that's hard to ignore. Wherever it goes, it draws attention, not because it's flashy, but because it looks purposeful. There's a sense of intent in its design, like every line and every detail serves a function. And that kind of authenticity stands out. It doesn't rely on gimmicks or trends. It simply exists as a machine built for riders who understand what it represents. And that's what makes it so compelling. It doesn't try to be something it's not. It embraces exactly what it is. And in doing so, it creates an identity that feels both timeless and modern at the same time. Reliability and build quality are where the 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S quietly reinforces its value. This is a bike that feels solid, well-constructed, and built to handle real-world riding. It's not just about performance on a perfect road. It's about consistency, durability, and trust. And that's something every rider can appreciate. Because no matter how exciting a bike is, it needs to deliver day after day. And this one does exactly that. It's the kind of machine you can depend on, whether you're heading out for a quick ride or a longer journey. And that reliability adds another layer to its appeal. So what does all of this mean for the 2026 Harley-Davidson Lowrider S? It means this isn't just another cruiser, it's a turning point. A bike that challenges expectations, redefines performance, and delivers an experience that feels both familiar and completely new. It's bold, it's focused, and it's unapologetically different. And that's exactly why it matters. Because in a world where it's easy to follow the same path, this bike chooses to carve its own. And that's something worth paying attention to.